Beware, Bitcoin will drive you crazy. Welcome back to Macedon Ranger's Voice, talking with jazz, with your host, Bigdaddy0. We often have discussions about currency in our family, and one of the currencies that we often talk about is Bitcoin. If you haven't heard it, you should stop this video now and look it up. If you have heard of it, then you'll fit into one of the several categories of people. You could be an OG, an original gangster, one of the people who bought Bitcoin when it was only $1, or they mined it themselves. And, consequently, now that Bitcoin is worth over 20,000 US dollars currently, they are incredibly wealthy. Or they lost it all and they're crying about not being wealthy. You can still be an OG and have no Bitcoin, that's true. Then you have the no-coiners. They don't own coins and they don't really want to know about coins. Bitcoins, they just think it's rubbish, which, it could well be. Then you have the pre-coiners. Pre-coiners are people who want to get to know more. They are about to buy themselves a Bitcoin. Well, they might not buy themselves a Bitcoin because a Bitcoin at 20,000 US dollars is quite a large sum to just throw into something that they don't know much about, really. But you can buy a small part of Bitcoin. You can move from being a pre-coiner to a Bitcoiner with ease. You can do it probably for as little as $50. But it does require that you have $50. And $50 that you don't care about losing. You see, there's a lot of fun and FUD and madness going on with Bitcoin currently. Every 3 years, it goes through what's called a bull market, where it increases in price astronomically. In fact, it's now quoted as being the best performing asset of all time. So that includes everything, including the famous comparison, which is completely irrelevant, to the tulip mania from the Dutch 1700s or whenever it was, where the price of tulip bulbs shot through the roof. Now, interestingly, and I do think this is interesting, there are two ingredients very similar to tulip mania, as it is now called, and the Bitcoin bull market that we are entering. There is also a bull market happening in other assets around the world, which sort of seems quite counterintuitive. If you haven't noticed, the S&P, Standard & Poor's 500 or whatever it's called, which is top companies in America, the big stock exchange listed companies in the USA, they're also on an all-time high. And bubble conditions produce bubble conditions. It's just a fact. Confidence is high, even though the share market is a trailing indicator, meaning that we'll probably find out there'll be a nasty surprise in store, because it's not telling us about the future. The share market is telling us about the past. Tulip mania, just to go back a bit, to explain tulip mania. So what happened was, a lot of people started buying tulip bulbs. There were a shortage of them. It was a supply and demand issue. So the prices of tulips kind of went up. And these were just tulip farmers going, I would like some more tulips. Oh, I haven't got any bulbs. You'll have to go and see Fred. Oh, what has Fred got some? He's only got one. Oh, well, I'll buy it. How much do you want for it? Well, yesterday I sold all of my tulips for $10, but now I've only got one tulip bulb, so I'll sell this one for $10. And as you can see, the price 10x'd overnight. Now, that's not a true story, that's just an example of what possibly happened. But what ended up happening was people all over Holland, the land of the tulip, and the clog, and the dyke apparently, they went mad for tulips. And they started having auctions in pubs. Now, you know what happens when people get drunk. They get silly and they start paying too much. So they were frequently bidding in the order of what it would cost to buy a small to medium-sized house in the middle of Amsterdam for one bulb of tulips. One tulip bulb. Which is a ridiculous price, of course, because it had become not about the tulips, it had become a speculative asset. And it wasn't an asset that was ever going to be worth the price they paid for it. It was called a greater full investment, which basically means you need to find someone madder than you who will buy your tulip for a greater price than you paid for it. Now, they may only pay 10 or 20% more, but you've just made 10 or 20% on your tulip, which is not bad because it's just a tulip. So that's kind of the nature of bull markets. People see the price going up, and therefore the price becomes more interesting. The higher the price is, the more interesting people are in it. Now, this is a bit of a rambling rant, and it was never going to be an explanation of what is Bitcoin, because that's not something I can squeeze into the 3 to 7 minutes I allow for this format. Maybe I'll do a fuller episode one day when I've got more presence of mind. But there's something else about the tulip mania and the current Bitcoin bull market that are very similar. Tulip mania occurred just after the plague. Don't make your Christmas party into a fight about Bitcoin being a no-coiner, being a pre-coiner, or being an OG. Just have a great day. Hi, I hope you're enjoying the new series. I'm really trying to get it right. And now it's your turn to get it right. You see, I don't want to pollute my other outlets with my random thoughts. So I've moved this channel, this mindless random thoughts channel, the Bigdaddy0 character and all the fun and all the hilarity, off to the YouTube channel because, well, it's pure there. And there's no politics anymore. I don't have to talk about local issues or anything like that. I'm free to explore the future and the past. So, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the bell, the like button, make a comment. Tell me to go get lost. You have to interact. It actually will build, and we'll have something to talk about. Even if I end up pillorying you in the future. No, I won't do that. I won't. Just have a great day.